Aloha and welcome to Permission to Flourish, a podcast about choosing growth, joy, and purpose on your own terms. I'm your host, Jay Cornell, and I sit down with leaders, creatives, and everyday visionaries who's given themselves permission to pause, pivot, and pursue what truly matters. These conversations are real, heartfelt, and here to remind you, you don't need permission. Let's get to today's episode. I'd like to welcome our next guest speaker. Nathan Baws has launched and scaled over 17 business, many hitting six-figure turnovers. Amazing. Appeared on Shark Tank Australia in 2015 and even holds a 2024 Guinness World Record for ice baths because what better way to prove your business chops than by freezing your own, right? Amazing. Love that. Nathan's approach to business growth is unique. He blends natural dopamine boosting, mindset stacking, and business growth strategies to help businesses scale. Plus, he's a master at pulling off zero-cost marketing stunts that have landed him over $100,000 in free media coverage. His story is packed with insight, humor, and real-world takeaways that your audience will love. Additionally, Nathan is also a co-author with Tony Robbins and Brian Tracy on a book focused on business growth and mindset optimization for businesses. I'd like to welcome our next guest, Nathan. Nathan, thank you so much for joining today. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do?
Hi, Jay. Yeah, pleasure to be here. So, all about business. Everything that I do is based around business and growing businesses and starting businesses and looking for opportunities in new businesses. So, that is a 24/7 passion that I have. And I do that all day, every day, and absolutely love the journey as well.
Where are you joining us from this morning?
Well, we're in Perth, Western Australia, so the other side of the planet, it would seem. Yeah.
I love that. And when you hear the phrase or the words permission to flourish, what does it personally mean to you at this stage of life?
Mission to Flourish, I think, is a very good question. It comes up as a question. Obviously, it's a statement rather than a question, but I like to stack things as questions because I find that I get a little bit more depth into an outcome if I phrase it as a question. So, do I have permission to flourish, or should I give myself permission to flourish? I think it's a great little concept of why the hell are we sitting back? Why are we sitting on our hands? There's so much cool stuff out there. There's so many opportunities out there. I mean, I bring everything back to business. So permission to flourish for me sounds like it's all about let's dominate, let's kick some goals and absolutely smash some records.
I love that. What inspired you to start businesses, or in your case, multiple businesses?
What inspired me was originally eating way too many potatoes. So I was brought up on a potato diet as it worked. I worked out at a young age that potatoes were pretty cheap, and that's all Mum had money for. So that was all that was in the shopping basket week after week. So coming from that as a background, single parent, sole parent, and that was gave me a lot of motivation to put something else onto the shopping list and maybe take a potato or two off the shopping list. So, the goal was to upgrade to a steak now and then, and that served as major motivation in starting businesses, going into my first business, and then a multitude of other businesses after that. And I've built around 19 different businesses currently, up to now. And what keeps me going, keeps me excited is this: there is so much opportunity out there. Life is a gold mine. We just have to find it and plug into it and tap into it, because there's so many problems in this world, and business is a fantastic solution for commercializing an outcome and being rewarded for solving big problems.
I love that. That is so powerful. And I like your analogy of the shopping basket and so powerful. I can so relate to that. I can actually visualize it and see that, within myself and what I've gone through. So powerful. What surprised you most about being an entrepreneur?
What surprised me most is probably along your lines of permission to flourish and knowing are we worthy enough is that I could bring a product out there that people would actually want and people would actually need, and I could find things that people would buy and pay money for that help them in life, and that my product, my solution, my service would be a great solution to whatever their issues are. And that's what kind of surprises me each time. Every time I create a new business, it may be in a completely new field. And I love creating stuff in businesses in fields that I have no idea about, because it just makes you realize, wow, this is a surprise that you can make money, you can be beneficial, you can be helpful to people in that industry or that category. And you are enough. We were talking about this before. We are enough to, or I am enough to be able to provide good value, if not amazing value, to be valuable for someone in an industry that I have no idea about, but can bring bits and pieces of that puzzle together. And, it surprises me, which it shouldn't, because I've been in all sorts of industries, from health to property to accounting, bookkeeping, business growth coaching, online stuff, all sorts of different things. And it's each time it's just like it's a happy surprise that we can benefit other people and also be commercially rewarded for it. So I think that answers it.
I think a lot of people don't see the behind the scenes of how you get started, the hard work, the long hours. They think it just magically happens. What did you stop doing that helped you grow faster as an entrepreneur?
What did I stop doing? There's a lot of things that I had to start doing, so I could easily talk about those, and that's sort of around the not only the mindset side of it, but also the skill set. Learning how to market, learning how to position an offer, because you're just not taught that sort of stuff at school. Um, and so, what did I have to stop doing? I think I had to make that shift of um, slow is okay to let's dominate today. So that was something that I had to do, because there's only so many hours in the day. There's only so many different businesses you can get involved in, um, unless you're really scaling and leveraging your time. So I think, yeah, those are the things that I had to stop doing, was just stop procrastinating, start really getting smart about time leverage and getting smart about structuring things a lot better than I was doing.
That is so true because, we all only have 24 hours in a day. And if we take away the sleep and, the family time, like how much time do we truly have? It's just so valuable.
I think if they squeezed an extra couple of hours into our day, we would just use them up anyway. So
Yes,
it wouldn't
absolutely.
it wouldn't really get us any further forwards. We would just find more things on our to-do list to do. Yeah.
Right, right, absolutely. So, as you scale your businesses, what's the biggest challenge you faced while scaling?
Biggest challenge I think would be finding a niche that we can tap into quickly, that is very quick to scale in. Because what I found in the past is sometimes I've spent 2 years on the back end building a business, and it's very, very hard to maintain momentum if you're doing all this background stuff and then you're not getting too much of the front facing bit. And so you can spend a lot of time building something that you think is going to work. And I did that, in a business where I spent 2 years building this business, and then I didn't really test it before I went into, before I started the build. So I spent a lot of time, a lot of money, a lot of energy building this thing, and then realized that actually what I built wasn't really, although I thought it was a good solution, the marketplace told me that it wasn't. So I had to pivot and adjust and tweak that business to be more relevant to creating the momentum quicker to get results. Yeah.
And there's so much systems and tools out there for people to use and process when they're scaling. What is the best advice that you could give individuals that are just starting out being entrepreneurs?
Well, we're in an age now of AI, which is just absolutely phenomenal for business owners to adjust and embrace it. It's just such a good way of scaling and leveraging time. We can produce 10 times plus the amount of content and presentations. Like, we use it a lot for presentations. So it's very easy now to get a business off the ground, to conceptualize it, to use this technology for our advantage, to our advantage. And for team members who don't move forwards, they are going to get left behind very, very quickly. We've just had a scenario where one of our team members, our graphic designers, didn't keep up, didn't utilize the AI, and has completely been left behind. So he's out of work now. And yeah, I just think there's so much opportunities if you embrace it, because you can turn it, like, recently a business, we created a barista training school, and that was a business that we took us 4 hours to go from start to first customer. So there's just so much opportunity in there now with the tools that we have at our disposal. It's such an exciting time to be in business and to have all the opportunities at our fingertips. It's quite cool.
4 hours, that is amazing. I think that's a record.
Yeah,
That's
it was for us.
awesome.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that was just using AI, designed the logo, had the concept, put it up on the website, built the website. And, it's just, there's so much now that is possible. It's so quick to implement. And it's so exciting, because that background that, on a previous business that took me 2 years can now be done in 4 hours. And then it's just so much more exciting, because you've got the front end, you're interacting with customers, you're seeing if it works, so you don't have to spend all that time and money and background energy, and you can actually get the momentum enough, because if you start getting those results and some interest by the customers out there, that you can go back and you can build a deeper foundation thereafter. So that's what we try and do now, is get it out there quick.
And I like that you always reference we. It's not an I statement. That's so powerful as a leader and building your team. I love that. And that really motivates the team when the leaders actually use the we instead of the I. So amazing. Your team must absolutely love working for you.
Yeah, I think we've sort of narrowed it down to the team that are all on the same mindset, and that's essential. And some of them are, use the analogy, some of them have been on the right bus but on the wrong seat. So it's just, I'll always try and find, well, what do you love doing? It comes down to what are you passionate about? What could you do if you weren't getting paid? What would it be along these sort of lines? And then that way you can shift. One of our team members, for example, she is doing phenomenally well. She started as an SEO intern, and now she's my public relations manager. In fact, she probably reached out to you, and Alice, to be connecting with you, and she's just awesome, and she loves what she does. And we just try new things all the time. We do test and measure, and yes, there's just so much fun that you can have if you're a bit passionate about it. And then you get others on the other side that are so bland and boring. It's very hard to work with that. I find it very, very challenging to work with people that have no passion, and as a result, we really don't have any of those in our team.
I love, yes, passion is huge. And,
Mm.
when you think about your business, your team, looking back, what strength do you now see that you didn't recognize back when you were starting?
I think recruitment side has changed radically. We had quite an automated process that would put through people through a whole bunch of tests. It could include things like bit of an IQ test, working out puzzles. They had to write certain things, although AI now can probably tick most of those boxes and people can cheat quite a bit. But the most important thing now that when I'm connecting with people is just the tone of their voice. So if there's a level of passion in there, then I'll explore the relationship further. I'll dig deeper. If it's if there's no excitement, no love, no passion, then I'll generally move on and and go to someone, you know. And it doesn't. The crazy thing is, it doesn't take much to stand out in when you're going for a job, because everyone is so blooming boring that I can't get that. If you're trying to put your best foot forwards, why don't you actually put your best foot forwards? Like come across to be memorable, to stand out, to shine. And yeah, people are just so blasé about it. So like I want to see people with passion come into my life. That's because I know I can work with them, I can bounce off them, we can get this dopamine being stimulated. We're going to have fun. I know that's the case, but so many people just can't shift into that zone, unfortunately. It's a bit sad.
Yeah, you see it every day, that shift, that mindset, one bad issue happen or one wrong turn and they're just like their whole life they feel is over, not knowing something is on the other end or just behind that door.
100%.
And when you were talking about, the team, the mindset, what mindset shift changed how your team or how you show up in business when, you're getting ready to start a new one or even acquiring a business?
There's two big things, I guess, that come into mind shift for me and my mind every day. One is that I constantly focus on dopamine in healthy ways of stimulating more dopamine, and I bring that into the business on a daily basis. So that starts with cold water therapy. So I'll go down to the beach every day, summer or winter, 0 degrees or 40 degrees Celsius over here. Hot or very cold, doesn't matter. The colder it is, the better, the more pumped I get out of it, actually. So those are the sort of things I love to bring in and, throughout the day, having regular hits of healthy dopamine. Dopamine has a lot of connotations with negativity these days with, gaming and social media marketing and scrolling and those sort of things. But there's ways of stimulating natural dopamine through diet, through nutrition, through exercise, and I love to bring all those things in. So that's a big mindset shift that I focus on. The other thing is that I really found works really well is anytime you go through a drama, and there's always lots of challenges in life and in business, is just to look at things differently. And although society and our family steers us in a certain direction of how we respond to certain events, realizing that actually we can determine the way we respond and react. That has been a huge game changer for me. So going from every time there's a stressful event, your muscles tense up, your breathing changes, your posture changes, the anxiety, the adrenaline starts pumping in, realizing that actually that's not necessarily, although that's our trained method of response, it doesn't have to be our response. We can choose, okay, what if we reacted differently? What if we changed that into a positive reaction with positive physiology and positive mental connotations? How much more could that serve us? So that's been a big game changer in dealing with daily challenges, shall we say? Yeah.
Yeah, so good. So good. For someone who feels like they're stuck, with their own almost stop me moment or like they're just on the fence, not sure. What would you want them to hear right now? What words of advice could you give them?
If they're on the fence of what?
Just
Okay.
like they're just almost there and they're stopping, right? That fear, that moment of am I going to be successful or am I going to make it? What would advice would you give them?
I think if you can stack everything in your favor, and that's what I kind of position myself as a business athlete. So I try and work on the physical and the mental and the emotional and the biochemical, all those sides. So I think if there's a lot of that stagnant, lack of momentum that takes place when you're not in a good zone, both mentally and physically. So I would say, and not many people relate health and nutrition to life outcomes, but there's a huge link because I mean it's pretty obvious when you think about it. If you're drained of energy and you're fatigued, well, generally your mood's going to be lower, your neurotransmitters are going to be firing less, and you're not going to be motivated to take that next step. And there's going to be fear and all that negative energy around you. So I like to just focus on the basics of keeping us alive and keeping us healthy and well. And it's just about nutrition. So the nutritional side and the mindset side, if we can bring all those in, you can often just adapt. You can often just grab enough energy and enough momentum to charge forwards, to push yourself out of that stuck state, to move forwards, just off the back end of better health, more energy, and a better mindset. I kind of feel that in itself can be enough to nudge you over the edge to set up a new healthy momentum, because the moment we take that next step and create a little bit of momentum, it's just self-perpetuating. You go, oh, I've done that today. Well, tomorrow I can do a little bit more, and wow, this is exciting. We're moving in the right direction. So yeah.
Yeah, that's so good. Because when you think about it, right? Because we only have one body, we only have one set of everything. So how we treat it is how we can keep going forward. And that's so good. I like how you said healthy momentum, because a lot of people don't connect that,
Mm,
that your health, your mindset, everything works together in order to succeed.
it
Uh,
really does.
what are you currently stepping into that feels like that next level of flourishing, like for yourself?
What am I? Every day is kind of a new experience, and if I don't find something that excites me about a day, I feel like it's been a bit of a wasted day. So I guess I'm constantly stepping into that new area of where's an opportunity, where's the next opportunity, how can we tweak, modify, adjust, pivot on something that we're currently doing to open up a whole new world of opportunities, whether it's joint ventures or collaborations with other people, or finding new team members, or having a conversation with yourself and then finding that there's more business opportunities down the track that we could hang out and do stuff together with. So yeah, those are the things that excite me and open up my world and day.
Yeah. So, um, what is on the horizon? I know you got so much things going on, and it's so amazing. And I just can't wait to get to know more about you and just see where your journey is taking you in 2026. So, what's on the horizon for you for 2026?
2026, we're focusing on a lot on in the food industry, so that's a big part, and also getting out there and doing more of these connections, more of these podcasts, and we've just joined up to a whole load of speaker networks in the US, actually in the UK and in Australia. So want to get out there and get more into that side because it's fun, and I get a little bit excited about these sort of things, and helping other people to fire up their life and their business, and particularly with that business focus. So that's the way we're going to get into the year, and that's the areas that are really getting me pumped at the moment. And when there's fun, when there's enjoyment, when you're passionate about something, it's just like, let's do this 24/7. Let's just keep going.
Yeah, and you can hear it in your voice. I love that so much.
Yeah.
And you're just the positivity that you bring and the motivation. I just can't wait for everyone to hear this.
Thank you.
Where can listeners connect with you?
Yeah, look, if you're in business, always love to hang out with anyone related to business. We connect on a monthly basis online with anyone who has in a group with anyone who has challenges within their business. It's a free thing. We just chat because basically I'm happy to chat business 24/7. So that's fun and enjoyable. So anyone who has challenges, we sort of help them with business growth and throw ideas at them and ask them questions and that sort of thing. So that you can connect through my website, nathanbaws.com, and register on there, or LinkedIn, reach out through that. Yeah.
Nathan, I just want to thank you so much. Before we wrap up, is there anything you'd like to leave the listeners with or any last comments?
Oh, I'll have to dig deep to find a nugget, a golden nugget. So, yeah, look, I think in life and in business, it's kind of all the same to get the best out of it. And, I'm on that journey. I certainly by any stage haven't arrived. It's just something that I love to explore and find new, exciting ways, tools. And I think as humans, we've just got to focus on the whole package, the holistic side of things. So, get your health in order because nothing else progresses. Very hard to have a healthy, positive mindset if you're feeling half dead, right? So get your health sorted, get your mindset, hang out with people that are filled with positivity rather than seeing the cup half empty all the time. And dopamine is huge in my life, so find ways of stimulating more healthy levels of dopamine, just being in a good zone, because it just has an amazing impact on all these things together, come together and just serve your life and serve your business hugely.
That was so powerful. Nathan, thank you so much for joining us, giving of your time to share with everyone. So I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart for sharing everything that you have.
My pleasure. Thanks so much for having me, Jay. Hope that connects with some people.
Absolutely. Mahalo, and thank you so much for tuning into Permission to Flourish. If today's conversation spoke to you, please leave a review and share it with a friend who needs a reminder that they too are allowed to share and thrive. Visit permissiontoflourish.com if you're ready to share your own story or explore our publishing opportunities. You'll also find free resources and inspiration to help you say yes to your own flourishing journey. Until next time, keep flourishing.